Surrounded on three sides by water and with a view of the mountains, Discovery Park is a beautiful place to visit. It is the largest public park in the city of Seattle and was designated a park in the 1970s when the U.S. Army donated the land, which used to be part of Fort Lawton. The woods are second-growth forest, with a few older trees here and there. In winter, when the broad-leafed maples are bare, moss and ferns flourish on their trunks and branches. In many ways, the park is still being restored into wildlife habitat. Invasive species are being pulled up and replaced with native ones. It doesn't snow very often, and when it does, the light dusting usually melts by the afternoon, so it's important to enjoy it while it lasts. A little bit of snow doesn't seem to discourage any of the birds. Song sparrows call all winter. Bush tits flock together in the evergreen trees to forage. Black-capped chickadees prefer to forage alone or in small groups. Golden-crowned sparrows flock together with each other or with other sparrows as they forage, mostly on the ground. Another ground forager is the junco, a winter migrant to the region. They will return to higher elevations in the mountains in spring and summer. The winter wren is a tiny but loud bird. You can often hear them before seeing them, and they can be difficult to photograph as they forage swiftly amongst the leaf litter. When most people think of robins, they think of spring, but here robins are far more common and active in winter. They can be found foraging alone or in large flocks. When it rains, they will hunt in grassy areas for worms. I think we sometimes forget that crows are a native species to this area. They are one of the smartest and most adaptable species of bird and have done quite well living in cities. A species not native to the park is the gray squirrel. Originally from Europe, they have outcompeted our smaller native squirrels in all our city parks. Since most of our native owls are adapted for smaller prey, the gray squirrels have few natural predators in our parks. Always a treat to find in the park is a pileated woodpecker. It is currently the largest species of woodpecker in North America, since the ivory-billed and imperial woodpeckers have both gone extinct. Moving on to the birds of prey in the park, we have the red-tailed hawk. Females are larger than males, so it is relatively easy to tell our resident pair apart. Red-tailed hawks protect a large territory to hunt their wide variety of prey. Discovery Park is the largest park in the city of Seattle, and yet it is only big enough for a single pair of red-tailed hawks. At the far end of the park is the beach. Harbor seals frequently fish offshore. And gulls soar about overhead, or float out on the waves. Crows, ever the opportunists, roam the tide line for edibles. If you are lucky, you may spot a small flock of shorebirds like these sanderlings, who run along the waterline probing the sand for small crustaceans and other food particles. A species I don't too often see here are brant geese. They are winter residents that breed in the Arctic tundra in summer. Here they graze on tidal flats, eating mostly eelgrass, fattening up for the migration. The largest birds in the park can most often be found hanging out by the lighthouse. The bald eagles nest in trees by the water, and their main diet is fish. In winter, the tide does not get very low, maybe just low enough to see a few barnacle-covered rocks and a couple of anemones in the highest tide pools. Between the beach and the sewage treatment plant are the wetlands. In winter, it might look empty, but it is full of birds. Hanging out in the wetlands is this great blue heron. It will soon leave for a nearby nesting site in late winter. A small group of American widgeons winters in the more secluded side of the pond. Also taking refuge in the less popular wetlands path is a large flock of cedar waxwings. These colorful birds eat mostly fruit and insects. As spring approaches, more and more small streams appear in the landscape. Here in the Pacific Northwest, winter and early spring are the seasons of rain. With the rain comes moss and mushrooms. And even some slime molds. The earliest blooming native flower is the flowering currant, bringing spots of pink into the green and brown forest. Birds take advantage of the few sunny days. Of course, park wildlife regularly spills out into the surrounding human habitation, and as I walk to and from the park, I can't help but film some of the wildlife I see along the way. A Steller's jay hangs out by a flock of robins. Flickers, a type of woodpecker, are often seen on telephone poles. Our only wintering hummingbird, the Anna's hummingbird, lives here all year round, even when it snows. They are tough little birds. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. There's more videos coming out all the time.